Hello, and welcome back to Bedtime Fables. The world outside is drinking in a cool, quiet rain. It's the perfect night to be inside, warm and dry and snuggled deep in a cozy bed. It's a night for listening to the gentle music of the world as it gets ready for sleep. Tonight, our story is about a little girl who was afraid of the storm and the tiny magical friend who taught her to hear its beautiful secret song. So let your breathing grow soft and slow as our story begins. In a little house with a big green garden, there was a cozy bedroom that belonged to a little girl named Lily. It was a wonderful room, full of all the things she loved. Her favorite books were stacked neatly on her bedside table, and her collection of sleepy, well-loved stuffed animals was arranged in a friendly row on her pillows. Her bed was a warm and safe island, with a big fluffy quilt that was as soft as a cloud. On most nights, this cozy room was Lily's favorite place in the whole wide world. But tonight was different. Tonight it was beginning to rain, and there was one thing about the rain that made Lily's heart feel a little bit wobbly and her tummy feel full of jumping beans. It started softly, as it always did. A single, gentle tap on the window pane. Then another. Tap, 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 tap. Lily watched as the first few raindrops landed on the glass, each one a tiny, clear jewel that slid slowly down, leaving a shimmering, watery trail behind it. At first, the sound was quiet and peaceful. It was a gentle, sleepy sound, a little lullaby that the sky was tapping out just for her. She loved this part of the rain. It made her feel even cozier in her warm, dry bed. But she knew that this was just the beginning, and a little knot of worry began to form in her tummy as she listened and waited for the sound to change. And soon, it did. The gentle taps became a louder pitter-patter, and then a steady drumming on the roof above her head. The wind began to wake up, its voice a low, mournful whoosh as it rustled the leaves of the big oak tree outside her window. And then, far, far away, she saw it. A silent, sudden flash of pale light that made the whole world turn white for just a heartbeat. The little knot of worry in her tummy tightened. The big, loud part of the storm was coming, the part she did not like at all. She pulled her soft quilt all the way up to her nose, her eyes fixed on the window, waiting for the sound she knew would come next. After a long, quiet moment, she heard it, a low, deep, rumbling sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It was a sound so big and so low that she could feel it in her bones. A great sleepy groan from the belly of a giant cloud. Rumble, rumble, grumble. It was the thunder. Lily squeezed her eyes shut and pulled the quilt over her head. She loved her cozy room, but when the thunder came, it no longer felt safe. It felt small, and the storm outside felt very, very big. She wished she could put pillows over her ears and make the whole world go silent until the morning. A single warm tear escaped from her tightly shut eyes and rolled down her cheek, landing with a tiny soft splash on the sleeve of her pajamas. But this was no ordinary tear. The moment it landed, it began to shimmer and glow with a soft blue-white light. The little drop of water quivered, and then it grew, and it grew, rising up and taking on a beautiful magical shape. It formed two tiny, delicate dragonfly-like wings, two little arms, two little legs, and a kind, friendly, smiling face. It was a tiny sprite, made of a teardrop and a little bit of magic. Lily felt a tiny, gentle warmth on her cheek, and she dared to peek out from under her quilt. Floating in the air right in front of her nose was the most wonderful creature she had ever seen. It was a tiny sprite, no bigger than her thumb, and it seemed to be made of pure, shimmering water and soft, gentle light. He gave her a little wave, and his voice was not a sound, but a feeling of gentle chimes in her mind. "Don't be afraid," he chimed. "My name is Plink. I am a Sound-Sprite. The storm isn't a monster, it's just making music. You have just been listening to it in the wrong way. Come with me, and I will teach you how to hear its beautiful secret song." Lily, her fear now replaced by a deep and powerful curiosity, slipped out of her bed. Plink, the tiny magical sound sprite made of a shimmering, translucent, water-like substance, zipped through the air and hovered by her window. "Listen," he chimed, pointing to the glass. "Don't just hear the noise. Listen for the music." Lily focused, and as she listened with Plink, the sound began to change. The random pitter-patter was no longer just a noise. She could hear the tiny, high-pitched plink of the small drops and the slightly lower, softer plink of the big drops. It was a beautiful, delicate, and random melody, a song played by 1,000 tiny, watery fingers on a giant glass xylophone. It was the first instrument in the symphony of the rain. "Now listen to the leaves," Plink chimed, his little glowing body darting towards the window that looked out onto the big oak tree. Lily pressed her ear to the cool glass and listened again. She could hear the rain falling on the thousands of broad, flat leaves of the great tree. It was a completely different sound. It was not a sharp plink, but a soft, gentle, and rhythmic shush, shush, shush. It was like the sound of 1,000 tiny, soft shakers, all playing a steady, calming beat. It was the rhythm section of the Great Rain Symphony, a peaceful, constant sound that made her own heart begin to slow its frantic, worried pace. And then, another great, low rumble of thunder echoed through the valley. Lily flinched, her old fear returning for a moment. "Don't be afraid," Plink chimed gently, hovering right beside her ear. "That is not a monster's growl. That is the sound of the great thunder drums. They are the biggest, most important instruments in the whole orchestra. They are the heartbeat of the storm. Just listen to how deep and strong and steady they are." Lily listened, and she heard it. The rumble wasn't an angry sound. It was a deep, powerful, and majestic beat, a sound that was full of an ancient, earthy power. It was the bass drum, keeping time for the whole, magnificent, and wild symphony of the rain. And now for the wind. Plink, a tiny, magical sound-sprite, made of a shimmering, translucent, water-like substance. A strong gust of wind blew by, and it made a high, mournful, whistling sound as it passed the corner of the roof. Lily had always thought it sounded like a sad ghost. "That is not a sad sound," Plink explained gently. "That is the song of the wind flute. The wind is a great musician, and it can play any instrument it chooses. When it blows through the pine needles, it sounds like a whisper, but when it finds a perfect sharp edge, like the corner of your roof, it can play a beautiful, clear and high note, a long, sweet song that soars above the whole symphony." Lily, a young girl of about 6, with large, expressive, and slightly worried brown eyes, and soft brown hair tied in a loose ponytail, wearing cozy, comfortable-looking pajamas with a star and moon pattern, looked down into her garden. A big round puddle had formed near the bird bath, its surface a shimmering dark mirror. As the raindrops fell into it, they made a whole new set of sounds. The little drops made a sound like tiny tapping fingers on a little drum, a fast and happy pitter-patter, but the big heavy drops made a deep, satisfying bloop sound, like a water drum. "You see," chimed Plink, a tiny magical sound sprite made of a shimmering, translucent, water-like substance. "Together they are not a scary noise. They are the most beautiful music in the world." Lily stood at her window, and for the first time in her life, she truly listened. She didn't just hear a big, scary storm. She heard the music. She heard the high, clear notes of the raindrops on the glass, and the soft, steady rhythm of the rain on the leaves. She heard the long, sweet song of the wind flute, and the deep, majestic and not at all scary beat of the thunder drums. Plink, a tiny magical sound sprite, made of a shimmering, translucent, water-like substance. Then came the grand finale. A brilliant flash of lightning lit up the entire world, brighter than any day, showing every single raindrop, every single leaf, in perfect frozen detail for a single breathtaking moment. And it was followed by a great, magnificent, and truly awesome crash of thunder. It was not a scary crash to Lily, a young girl of about 6, with large, expressive and slightly worried brown eyes and soft brown hair, tied in a loose ponytail, wearing cozy, comfortable-looking pajamas with a star and moon pattern. Anymore, it was the sound of all the thunder drums being played at once, a great, final, and powerful chord that made the whole house vibrate. It was the sound of the storm singing with "I'm." And then, as quickly as it had come, the great crescendo was over. The thunder drums rolled away into the distance, their beat growing fainter and fainter. The fast, hard drumming of the rain on the roof softened once more into a gentle pitter-patter, and then back into a slow, sleepy tap-tap-tap. The wind flute sighed one last, long, sweet note, and then was silent. The symphony was coming to an end. The moon, who had been waiting patiently behind the clouds, began to peek out, her gentle, silver light painting the wet leaves and the glistening puddles with a brand new, peaceful light. Lily turned from the window. The fear was completely gone, replaced by a feeling of deep, peaceful wonder. She looked at the little sprite, who was now hovering in the middle of her room, his blue-white light pulsing with a soft, happy glow. "You see," he chimed in her mind, "it was just music all along. You will never have to be afraid of it again. You know how to listen now." He gave her a tiny, shimmering wave. "My work is done. It is time for you to sleep, and for me to return to the rain." Lily smiled, her heart so full of gratitude. "Thank you, Plink," she whispered out loud, her voice full of a quiet happiness. With a final, kind smile, Plink's beautiful watery form began to dissolve. His little dragonfly wings melted away, and his shimmering body grew smaller and smaller, until he was once again just a single, perfect, shimmering drop of water. It was no longer a sad tear, but a tear of pure, happy magic. It floated down and landed, with a silence that made no sound at all, right back on the little moon on her pajama sleeve, where it sparkled for a moment in the new moonlight, and then was gone. Lily climbed back into her warm, safe bed, but this time she didn't pull the quilt over her head. She lay on her pillows and listened. She could still hear the last gentle drops of rain, a final sleepy drip, drip, drop from the leaves of the great oak tree. It was the softest, most beautiful lullaby she had ever heard. She knew she would never hear a storm in the same way again. It would always be a symphony to her now, a special secret song that the world was playing just for her. Outside, the world was washed clean, the air smelled fresh and sweet, and the moonlight made every single wet leaf and every single tiny puddle sparkle like a jewel. The storm had not been a monster, it had been a great, wild and wonderful musician, and it had been a kind and gentle gardener, giving the whole thirsty world a deep, refreshing drink before it went to sleep. The whole world felt peaceful and calm and ready for a long and wonderful rest. And now, it is time for you to listen to the quiet symphony of your own sleepy thoughts. It is time to let the busy day fade away like the distant rumble of thunder, and to let the deep, peaceful quiet of the night become your own special lullaby. Let the gentle, rhythmic sound of your own breathing be the only music you need to guide you into a wonderful, deep, and peaceful sleep. Outside Lily's window, the world felt brand new. The storm, with its great musical performance, had also given the whole garden a wonderful bath. Every leaf on every tree was washed clean of its dust, and now shimmered a deep, healthy green in the moonlight. The petals of the night-blooming flowers looked brighter and more vibrant than ever before. Even the air itself felt clean and fresh, carrying the sweet, earthy smell of damp soil and the renewed perfume of the clean-washed blossoms. The storm had not been an angry thing, it had been a gift, a great refreshing drink for a thirsty world, and now the whole garden was sighing with a deep, happy, and contented quiet. Lily lay in her bed, her quilt tucked loosely around her, and she listened to the final, sleepy notes of the rain symphony. It was the gentle drip, drip, drop of the last few raindrops falling from the leaves of the great oak tree, and from the edge of the roof. Each drop was a tiny, perfect and final musical note in the great performance. Plink, plonk, plink. It was the slowest, most gentle, and most peaceful music she had ever heard. It was the sound of the world settling down, the sound of the storm saying its final, sleepy goodnight. The last of the great grey clouds had now sailed away over the distant hills, and the night sky was revealed in all its glory. The moon, who had been hiding behind her cloudy curtain, now shone down, her light clear and bright and unobstructed. She painted the whole, wet, glistening world in a beautiful, silvery light, and the stars, which had been hidden by the storm, now seemed to twinkle even more brightly than before, as if they too were happy and relieved that the great, loud symphony was over, and the time for deep silent peace had returned. And as Lily drifted into the first soft waves of sleep, her dreams were not of scary monsters or loud, angry noises. Her dreams were full of music. She dreamed that she was a great conductor, and with a little twig for a baton, she was leading the entire storm. She would wave her baton to the left, and the wind would play its beautiful, high-pitched flute solo. She would wave it to the right, and the rain would answer with the happy pitter-patter of its 1,000 tiny drums. And when she lifted both her arms high, the great thunder drums would roll with a deep, majestic, and wonderful beat that made her feel powerful and brave. In her dream, she was not afraid. She was a part of the music. She understood it. She knew that the storm was not a thing to be scared of, but a great, wild, and beautiful song that the world sometimes sang to itself. And Plink, her little sprite friend, was there too, his tiny shimmering form darting and weaving through the music like a happy, living musical note. He had not just taught her how to listen to the symphony. In her dreams he had made her its conductor. She was the keeper of the song, the master of the storm, and it was the most wonderful, powerful, and happy feeling in the world. And now, it is time for you to find your own quiet, peaceful place, your own cozy seat to listen to the gentle, sleepy music of the night. It is time to let the day fade away, like the last distant rumble of a passing storm. The world is growing quiet, and a deep, comfortable, and peaceful silence is waiting just for you. A perfect place for you to begin your own journey into a wonderful, restful sleep. Imagine the gentle, clean feeling of the world just after a soft rain. That is how your mind can feel now. Let all the busy, dusty thoughts of the day be gently washed away, leaving everything feeling clean and fresh and new. Your mind can be as clear and as peaceful as a still puddle of rainwater, reflecting the calm, quiet, and beautiful stars of the night sky. There is nothing left to worry about. The day has been washed clean. Listen to the quiet, peaceful rhythm of your own breathing. Let it be as slow and as steady as the last, gentle drops of rain falling from the leaves. A long, soft breath in, and a long, sleepy breath out. This gentle, peaceful rhythm is the most relaxing sound in the whole wide world. It is the lullaby that the quiet earth sings to itself, and it is telling every single part of your body that it is time to let go, and it is time to sleep. The world is growing so very quiet now. The symphony is over, and the musicians have all gone to sleep. The wind is just a soft, sleeping breath in the high branches of the trees. The rain has finished its gentle tapping, and now only a deep, comfortable silence remains. It is a peaceful silence, a safe silence, a sleepy, sleepy silence. It fills the garden, it fills the little house, and now it can fill your own cozy room. A soft, invisible blanket of peace to help you drift away into your own beautiful, quiet dreams. You are so very sleepy now. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. You are ready to let go and float away into the beautiful, peaceful, and magical land of dreams. It is a wonderful place, made just for you, where you can be the conductor of your own beautiful symphonies, and where you can have the most wonderful adventures. You are almost there. Your journey into sleep is just beginning. Just let yourself drift now. The great storm itself was now sleeping. Its mighty thunder drums were silent, and its wind flutes were at rest. It had performed its beautiful, wild, and wonderful symphony for the world, and now it drifted peacefully across the night sky, a great, soft, sleepy cloud dreaming of its next performance. It had washed the world clean, given the thirsty flowers a drink, and taught a little girl how to hear its secret music. Its work for the night was done, and it too was now a part of the great, quiet peace that had settled over the land. And after the long, peaceful night comes the promise of a new day. The sun rises, painting the world with fresh, new colors. The flowers that drank the rain now open their petals to the warmth, their faces bright and happy. The little creatures of the forest wake up, feeling refreshed and restored, ready for a new day of play and adventure. Every morning is a new beginning, a new story waiting to be told, and it is all made possible by the deep, quiet, and magical rest of the night. And in her cozy room, Lily woke up. She did not wake with a worried heart, but with a happy, peaceful feeling. She went to her window and saw that the storm had left a final, beautiful gift behind, a magnificent rainbow, arching across the clean blue sky in perfect, brilliant colors. She smiled, a big, genuine smile, because she knew that the storm had not been a monster to be afraid of, but a great musician who had simply come to paint the world with sound and color. And now, it is time for you to listen to the quiet symphony of your own sleepy thoughts. It is time to let the busy day fade away like the distant rumble of a passing storm, and to let the deep, peaceful quiet of the night become your own special lullaby. Let the gentle, rhythmic sound of your own breathing be the only music you need to guide you into a wonderful, deep, and peaceful sleep. A sleep that will leave you feeling as refreshed and as happy as the world after a gentle morning rain. Imagine the gentle, clean feeling of the world just after a soft rain. That is how your mind can feel now. Let all the busy, dusty thoughts of the day be gently washed away, leaving everything feeling clean and fresh and new. Your mind can be as clear and as peaceful as a still puddle of rainwater, reflecting the calm, quiet, and beautiful stars of the night sky. There is nothing left to worry about. The day has been washed clean, and all that is left is a deep and comfortable quiet. Listen to the quiet, peaceful rhythm of your own breathing. Let it be as slow and as steady as the last gentle drops of rain falling from the leaves. A long, soft breath in, and a long, sleepy breath out. This gentle, peaceful rhythm is the most relaxing sound in the whole wide world. It is the lullaby that the quiet earth sings to itself, and it is telling every single part of your body that it is time to let go, and it is time to sleep. You are so safe and sound, tucked into your own warm, dry bed. The world outside can be windy and rainy, but in here you are in your own special, cozy shelter. Your bed is your own little island of peace, and your blankets are a soft, warm, and protective roof over your head. Nothing can bother you here. You are completely safe, completely comfortable, and completely ready for a long and wonderful, uninterrupted sleep. You are so very, very sleepy now. Your mind is quiet, your body is still, and you are ready to let go completely. You can feel yourself standing at the very edge of the land of dreams, a wonderful, magical place made just for you. It is a place of beautiful music and happy adventures, where you can be the conductor of your own sleepy symphonies. The path is open, and it is time to drift away. And now, you are there. You have floated all the way into a deep, peaceful, and wonderful sleep. It is a special, quiet time for your body to rest, for your mind to dream, and for your heart to be filled with peace. All the creatures of the night are sleeping too. The owls in their trees, the mice in their burrows, and the little sound-sprites in the last few drops of rain. The whole world is resting, and you are resting with it. Thank you for listening to the rain with us at Bedtime Fables. There is always a new, secret song waiting for us in the quiet of the night. If you would like to be here to listen, you can ask your grown-up to tap the subscribe button so we can all meet again for our next sleepy adventure. Until then, may all your dreams be filled with beautiful music. Sleep well. Good night.